Section 52 of Narratives of Colored Americans. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Narratives of Colored Americans by Abigail Mott and M.S. Wood. The Grateful Negro and the Faithful Nurse. The Grateful Negro. Some years since, a gentleman who was the possessor of considerable property from various causes became embarrassed in his circumstances and was arrested by his creditors and confined in the King's Bench prison, whence there was no probability of his being liberated, unless some law proceedings, upon his succeeding in which the recovery of a great part of his property depended, were decided in his favor. Thus situated, he called a colored man who had for many years served him with the greatest faithfulness, and said, "Robert, you have lived with me many years, but I am now unable to maintain you any longer. You must leave me and endeavor to find another master." The poor man, well remembering his master's kindness, replied, "No, massa, me no leave you. You maintain me many years. Me now try what I can do for you." Robert then went and procured employment as a day laborer, and regularly brought his earnings to his master, on which, though small, they managed to subsist for some time, until the lawsuit was decided in the master's favor, and he thereby regained possession of a very considerable property. Mindful of his faithful servant, one of his first acts was to settle an annuity upon him for the remainder of his life, sufficient to secure to the poor fellow the enjoyment of those comforts he had so well deserved. This little anecdote may afford instruction both to the nominal and professing Christian. Let the former inquire, should I have acted thus if in a similar situation? End of The Grateful Negro. The Faithful Nurse. From the Ladies' Monthly Museum. In the dreadful earthquake which made such ravages in the island of Santo Domingo in the year 1770, a colored nurse found herself alone in the house of her master and mistress, with the youngest child whom she nursed. The house shook to its foundation. Every one had taken flight. She alone could not escape without leaving her infant charge in danger. She flew to the chamber where it lay in the most profound sleep. At the moment the walls of the house fell in. Anxious only for the safety of her foster child, she threw herself over it, and, serving as a sort of arch, saved it from destruction. The child was indeed saved, but the unfortunate nurse died soon after, the victim of her fidelity. End of The Faithful Nurse. End of section 52.